Arizona takes down Colorado, but did you see enough going into Arizona's big matchup versus number 3 Iowa State? We're going to break it all down here in 30 seconds on the AZ Wildcats postgame show. Welcome in, everybody, to the AZ Wildcats postgame show. I am your host, Damon Farrell, with my boy Kevin Thomas, doing it all back there, fighting with a roadcaster. I know my boy came out on top, though. That's a fact. Arizona comes out on top versus Colorado, 78-63, taking down the Buffs in McHale Center. Kevin, just getting straight into it. Not exactly the best game, I'd say, from Arizona top to bottom. The first half in particular was not exactly, the most encouraging performance from the Wildcats. 33-31, the Wildcats were up in the first half and went on another long scoring drought, Kevin, a thing that has really kind of been the Achilles heel of this team, since we really started breaking it down here. And the Wildcats were a lot better down the stretch in the second half to really pull out that victory. But yeah, not exactly the most encouraging performance from my perspective. What say you?
Yeah, no, definitely a performance that, I mean, I said it on our last show, Damon, that this is a game where you have to come in and beat Colorado convincingly from the start to the finish. And that's not something that Arizona was able to accomplish at all until pretty much the last 10 minutes of this game, Damon, where thanks to ADO, our beloved savior there, our camel savior,
sweet Deli.
Yeah, I mean, Deli really came through for Arizona today, and without him, without Awaka, Arizona would be in a lot more of a close game with Colorado than they really should have been in the first place, Damon. I mean, it was, you and I were watching it here, and we were like, I can't believe this is like really a 3-point game at times. Like yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things, Damon, where Anthony Dell'Orso was absolutely cooking. KJ Lewis was doing everything in the second half that he could do to get Arizona a W. I mean, he was playing really hard in the first half. Corey Williams, our friend of the show that was on the call today, mentioned in the first half that KJ Lewis was gassed at points. He was trying so hard on defense. And yeah, Damon, we're going to probably get into it, but MIA Caleb Love against Colorado today. He wasn't fully MIA, but he had 2 threes in a short stretch in the first half, and then 1 field goal the rest of the game, Damon. But not good enough from Arizona today. Not good enough.
Yeah, not the best performance we've ever seen. Not what we're necessarily accustomed to seeing when this team is playing like a full, complete basketball game, which we actually, to be frank, haven't seen a whole lot of this season, Kevin. But I wanted to revisit another conversation that we had earlier on this podcast, this fine program of ours. Anthony Dell'Orso, Deli, if you will. Are we ready to revisit that whole you taking Matthew Dellavedova over Anthony Dell'Orso?
We can revisit this.
Definitely, Anthony Dell'Orso, definitely the best Deli Australian basketball player in the history of the game.
Yeah, I think that he earned it. I think he earned it today. I think he is officially Deli as of today. When you go out there and you drop 6 threes and you look like the man from behind the 3-point line. I mean, the confidence that once he caught the ball, every time I saw him catch the ball, I was like, oh, it's about to be an Anthony Dell'Orso 3. That's what it's about to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, he was awesome today to watch, and Arizona needed ADO today. I mean, Deli. Arizona needed Deli today, and Deli came through, Damon. But without Deli, Arizona would have been in some dire straits because the lack of shooting on Arizona is kind of alarming. Like 9 for 27 today from 3 behind the 33.3% to be exact. And Deli had 6 of those. Damon, 1 came from Henry Vasar. That was a fun one to see, and the other 2 came from Caleb Love. And yeah, it's the lack of consistent scoring on this team that really scares me as we as fans march towards the tournament.
Yes, no doubt about that. I think that's kind of where what I've been saying for, majority of this season, Kevin, is I really just feel like one of these scoring droughts is going to be the end of this team. Like I think that they're very talented, and I like the roster for the most part. In the makeup of it, I think that this team has a very high ceiling. But I also think the floor, as far as a team that makes the tournament, is fairly low for that reason. Because if they run into a team like a Princeton a couple years ago that's just extremely well coached and has a plan going into the game, and Arizona just doesn't make adjustments and is just in a dogfight with a team like that, like a couple hot shooters could really end this team's season against with an inferior opponent on the other end there. So I it's been something that I'm concerned about. You see it with Colorado today. Colorado is now 0-8 in Big 12 play. They're in last place, and Arizona was going back and forth with them, trading shots with them in the first half and well into the second half as well. Definitely something that feels like it could be the kryptonite of this team when the games and the stakes are just that much higher.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've been talking about it all year, Damon, but any team that struggles to score with consistency in March and struggles to find quality stretches of play in March and April, Damon, they're going to get bounced. And it's
consistency is key.
Consistency is key, and we've been talking about it with individual players. We've been talking about it with the team in general, Damon. And this was Arizona's chance to, I mean, not their only chance, but their best chance that they're going to have for a while to really put the pedal to the metal and show fans like, yeah, we can put together a 40-minute complete game.
Yeah.
Because if you can't do it against Colorado, Damon, like I understand Tad Boyle's a good coach. I'm not saying that Colorado's a practice squad or anything, but it is a get right game to an extent. It really is. And Arizona did not take the opportunity that it had today. And yeah, Arizona did have a 15-point victory. Good teams win, great teams cover, 14.5 for those that care. But yeah, I mean, it just, you wanted it to be bigger than this. You wanted it to look better than this. Kind of similar to what happened to Arizona versus Texas Tech, right? I mean, you play a team close all game, it gets away from you at the end, and then people look back and say, well, yeah, Arizona really handled Colorado. But it was a close game for those that watched the entire time until Anthony Dell'Orso and KJ Lewis really started cooking in that second half.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Even, and I know you mentioned Caleb Love, not having the best game, but I thought late in that stretch, Arizona was playing really, really just cohesive team basketball. Everybody was contributing. Caleb Love got that tie up in the possession arrow in Arizona's favor in that run. He also had, some good looks at the rim, as well as Jaden Bradley as well. So, I really thought that the whole team looked good down the stretch, but that's not the point, right? Because 75% of the game, they were in a back and forth game with the last place team in the conference. And if you had told me, Kevin, prior to these last two games, the Oklahoma State game and the Colorado game, we talked about it ad nauseum that, these were two games that Arizona needed to have convincing victories in, right? Like I think that was something that me and you in particular were very kind of, set in our ways on, I'd say. Like that was like, we needed to see this team like to feel confident and instill ourselves with confidence. A couple blowout wins. If you told me when we were talking about that Arizona would win by 14 and then by 15 against those teams, I probably would have taken it and said they did what they needed to do. But I really think that if you watch both games, they were a lot closer than those scores indicate. Oklahoma State kind of similar, right? Like Arizona down the stretch pulled away and made it look like a blowout, and it was a fairly comfortable victory in the end, but it was a 4-point game at halftime, 43-39. Oklahoma State still scored 39 in the second half as well, so it's not like they really slowed down that much. I think that this is like clearly those two wins, on paper, maybe they look like what you want them to look like, but in reality, like if you watch the games, it wasn't necessarily as convincing as that scoreline would indicate.
Yeah, and I think that, the biggest issue that you and I think, are having with it is the way that it looks, right? The Arizona's not really the Arizona's kind of playing with its food at times, it seems, almost, or maybe they don't have full enough control to play with the food, and that is maybe the problem in itself.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, Hector Mendoza says it in the chat. It is scary, but every player seems to be improving and getting better, right? But I think that while the individuals are seemingly improving, it has yet to come together in a way that looks cohesive yet, which is the next step, right? Because I think early in the year, people including myself, wanted individual development from players like Trey Townsen, Tobi Henry Vesar, KJ Lewis, Caleb Love, right? And we're seeing all of those players, kind of except, I guess, for Caleb Love, develop and show improvement in the ways that we wanted them to. Awaka looked phenomenal tonight. He's been looking better and better. He's one of the conference's best rebounders, right?
Yep.
Trey Townsen looked awesome to start this game. I think he also is kind of a part of the putting together a full performance crew, but he's really having his best games right now. And I think I already mentioned Tobi Awaka, but same thing with him. And I think that now the next step is putting it together for 40 minutes or even 30 minutes, and showing a team that, you know, all the improvement that Arizona's made has been worthwhile, and that they're moving toward a place of being really scary when the tournament comes around, Damon. But until we see that, you can't really say that Arizona's a terrifying team to face in the tournament, because they don't look terrifying right now.
Yeah, and I don't think that this team is like the type of team that will get blown out versus like a number 3 Iowa State. I think that they just kind of play up and down to their competition a little bit. But Hector puts it in the chat here, and it's, you know, and I think they do deserve credit. You know, we're looking at this more from an Arizona perspective and trying to talk about it, you know, from what the standard that we hold this basketball program to. But Colorado did have, you know, I would say a solid game plan going in. You know, they kept it close for a long portion of that game, Kevin. And I think that they were playing it the way they wanted to, right? Like trading a couple shots here and there, you know, slowing Arizona down from a you know, offensive standpoint for much of the game until late, that late explosion. So, you know, I think in a world in which Deli isn't, you know, 6 of 9 from 3 and you know, kind of carrying the offense for a large majority of this game, I think that Colorado could have been leading until late in the game, and you never know how that ends up. So Colorado played a good game plan. Arizona just made a couple more shots, and Anthony Dell'Orso in particular made some big shots. But they do deserve credit. In, you know, they're not a, you know, as far as an 0-8 team that's last place in the conference goes, I feel like they're like probably better than you would expect, right? Like the Big 12 is
this conference is incredible.
It's insane. It's a gauntlet. Like that's not. In that Colorado team, at least to me, they look like a mid Pac-12 team tonight, right? Like maybe not like the bottom feeders, but like maybe like the 8th place Pac-12 team or something like that. And they're going to finish in 14th in the Big 12, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's that, like, that is what it is. But, you know, I do think that Colorado had a good performance tonight as well.
I think what stood out to me most about Colorado's game plan was the fact that not only did they hold Caleb Love to 3 of 14 shooting and just 10 points. Now, he did have 6 rebounds and 4 assists, so credit to Caleb Love for that, getting involved in other ways. But my point here is that Colorado, their game plan, I'm assuming, actually worked. Because Damon, go with me on this. If you're Arizona's opponents, you want to eliminate Caleb Love scoring, eliminate Jaden Bradley scoring, slow down Vesar and Awaka, at least from a points production perspective. And if ADO and Awaka and
if the wings are going to cook
you, if Lewis, ADO, and Trey Townsen beat you, so be it. And I think that's literally what happened tonight. I think Tad Boyle had a wonderful game plan. Caleb Love did not shoot well. Jaden Bradley went 2 for 9. You know, and who beat Colorado tonight, Damon? Anthony Dell'Orso, Tobi Awaka, and KJ Lewis. And if you're Tad Boyle, I'm assuming that obviously you're disheartened by this loss. You want to get that first conference win, but you kind of wipe your hands and say they were better.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like those are not exactly on paper the guys that are gonna make Arizona, you know, a gauntlet or a team that's really tough to beat in March, right? That's going to be Caleb Love and Jaden Bradley, as you mentioned. And yeah, I think they neutralized, you know, some of the better players on Arizona's team. I see June here in the chat says, Erica, how is the crowd? We're going to ask Erica about the crowd when we get her on after post-game availability, where we'll hear from Tommy and the players and what they had to say after the game. If you are in this chat, please like this video. It helps us out a lot. We very much appreciate all the people that are here watching with us, talking ball, talking hoops. Leave some chats. We keep Kevin and I love to hear the input of the chat and kind of highlight certain opinions when it's going with, you know, what we're talking about. So yeah, feel free to just pop in that chat there and get active, and subscribe to this channel as well. It's a, you know, does us huge solid there. Kevin, we're going to talk more about, you know, this game and the fallout of it and kind of just like where you see this Arizona team right now. But first, we got to talk about some fine sponsors here on the AZ Wildcats podcast. One of our favorite new sponsors, Kevin, is the Carol Royce team. Carol and her team are going to give you the most personalized approach to home buying that you'll find in the Valley. And they've sold over 12,000 homes in the Valley,
That's
Kevin.
a lot of homes,
Yeah,
Damon.
12,000 is not a small little number there. When you're trying to find your forever home or even a place that, you just want to stay at for a couple years while you wait on it, Carol is going to help you find that perfect spot. And if it is not perfect for you, Carol and her team are going to buy it back from you, Kevin. That's the guarantee that they're going to give you, and then they're going to help you get you into a home that you do love. Carol Royce and her team, that's just what they do over there. Very personalized approach, very family-style approach over at Carol Royce. And if you're considering buying a home in 2025, the name to trust is Carol Royce. Your home sold guaranteed realty. Move up to one of our listings, and we'll buy your home for cash. Have questions, call today or visit Carol online at carolroyceteam.com. That's carolroyceteam.com.
We also love Carol Royce because they are the wonderful people over at Carol Royce are now going to sponsor me and Damon's buy or sell segment.
Yes.
Our first segment already got a sponsor, Damon. We're balling and dare I say, not on a budget anymore.
Show me the money.
Yeah, show me the money. Let's get the next great sponsor in here. And Damon, that's going to be our friends over at Spinatos. Our friends over at Spinatos got us lunch yesterday. Max got us pizza. Shout out Max, only from the best, and that is from Spinatos.
Can I say the only thing I didn't like about the Spinatos yesterday, Kevin?
Yeah,
there wasn't enough.
Oh yeah,
there was not
That's
enough
true.
of it.
By the time we got off air, man.
Yeah, man. I was trying to it came in the middle of our show. That's kind of the Damon curse. I feel like they did that on Diamondbacks all the time when we were on that, and we used to get lunch every week. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't enough of it because Spinatos is that damn good.
It really is.
Everybody's sprinting over to the kitchen to get some Spinatos.
I had not had it before yesterday, and it is definitely by far the best pizza I've had so far in the Valley. But if you're a Suns fan, there's no better place to watch Suns basketball than at Spinatos. If you want to watch it with the gorilla mascot, if you want to watch it with the Suns dancers, you can do that at Spinatos. So make sure to check out Spinatos. You can even play horse there, Damon, but they don't spell horse because that's weird for a pizza place. They spell pizza. So go make your way over to Spinatos, watch some Suns basketball, have some great pizza, and that is SpinatosPizzeria.com. Spinato is the official pizzeria of the Phoenix Suns.
Love that. They have Spinatos at the Suns games. I've gotten it before. Pretty good stuff. I also had Spinatos at the Cardinals stadium the other day when I went there for Vikings Rams, and that was electric as well.
Spinatos runs the world, man.
It does. It kind of does run the world. Kevin, let's talk some of these numbers through and kind of recap this game.
Let's do it.
Arizona beats Colorado 78-63, 15-point margin of victory. Wins the field goal percentage battle by 4%, 47-43. Colorado shoots significantly better from three-point land, Kevin. 47% for the Buffs tonight from three. Arizona only 33%, in large part carried by that 67% shooting night from Anthony Dell'Orso from behind the arc there. And I guess, 19 attempts for Colorado to 27 for Arizona. The same amount of makes there, but Colorado shot very much more efficiently. Arizona 7 more assists, 20-13. Colorado 5 more turnovers than Arizona. And then Arizona continues to dominate the stocks category, Kevin. I feel like every time you pull up this stocks number, Arizona has it by like 10 plus every single time. And honestly, that is the one thing I will take away from this game that I love to see. I really thought, KJ Lewis, he had a massive game in terms of steals. What did he have? 4 steals? Is that correct?
KJ Lewis? Yeah, I believe he had 4 steals tonight.
Yep, 4 steals and a block tonight for KJ Lewis.
He was everywhere.
3 steals for Caleb Love. I thought this team was active on that end, on the defensive end, right? I really thought that they were, diving everywhere for loose balls and really trying to, get physical and get dirty when it came to forcing those turnovers on Colorado. And that turnover margin was a big reason that Arizona won tonight. That 5-point turnover margin, but the points off turnovers, Arizona wins that battle by 9. So yeah, what stands out to you about this game, Kevin, from a statistics standpoint?
Man, I think it has to be fast break points, right, Damon? You look at Arizona having 19 fast break points overall to Colorado's just 4.
Yep.
I mean, the great Corey Williams was able to, if you saw our Twitter today, was able to talk to assistant coach Jason Garner, former Wildcat great.
Ever heard of him?
Yeah, I don't know if you have, but if you haven't, you better Google him because better find out. But yeah, Corey was able to talk to Jason Gardner, and that's exactly what Coach said. He said we want to slow them down, force turnovers, get out and run in transition. And what was Arizona like during the stretches that they were successful tonight, Damon? That's exactly what was going on. They were forcing turnovers, they were having active hands, and then getting out in transition and forcing Colorado to make defensive mistakes.
Yep.
And I think that was the difference in the game to me. The rebounding differential was pretty close. Arizona actually was able to win the offensive rebound battle tonight. But I think the fast break points stood out the most to me. And I mean, the second stat was whatever Anthony Dell'Orso was doing. That's what else stood out to me.
Yeah.
This is 3-point shooting. But yeah, the fast break points for me, Damon, were so key in this basketball game.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about that. 15-point margin there for Arizona on the fast break. And you win by 15, Kevin. So you could argue that was the entire game. But
people are saying.
Yep, that's good analysis out of you, my man. But I think Anthony Dell'Orso, you're right about that. His stat line was incredibly impressive. I tweeted it in the first half, and I was like, where would this team be right now if Anthony Dell'Orso didn't hit 4 3-pointers in the first half on 4 of 6 shooting? Like, it just kind of, to me, it felt like it's like you're in a back and forth game with Colorado, and one of the kind of supplementary pieces on this roster is just carrying you through this first half. Like, that's concerning to me. I think there's absolutely a world in which Arizona's down about 6-8 points at halftime, and that really, that wouldn't bode well at all. So, I think they kind of escaped there with their tails tucked between their legs. But again, that late stretch was kind of everything we wanted to see for the entirety of the game going on. What's up? You look like you just saw something that has you in complete shock.
I feel so bad. Because you said that we saw everything we kind of wanted to see, right, in that second half. I think I believe what you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not everything we wanted to see, Damon. Trey Townsen, for those that don't know, came into this game just 10 points shy of 2,000 points for his entire career.
9?
He started out hot
in
this game, and he finished.
Made another good save, by the way, tonight, Trey Townsen. I want to give him credit for that. That's 2 games in a row now where Trey Townsend's jumping into the stands, throwing the ball back. Shout out Trey Townsen. This is the #1 Trey Townsend podcast in America.
Yeah, it is. Definitely is. Can't be that many, but he finishes with 8 points, Damon, and I feel bad for the guy. But I mean, I'm sure he'll get it literally first basket of next game. I feel like Trey Townsen, like if you were saying the other day, you wish you could bet some additional player props in college, right? First basket for Arizona, I feel like, is good money for Trey Townsend every time. It's like Trey Townsend in the post every time to start the game.
He doesn't always make it.
He doesn't, but he's going to take it. It's good money,
He is going to take it.
It's good money. Anyway, I digress. I saw that in the stat sheet, and it broke my brain. I was like, I felt so bad. Because mentally, if I'm him, like I'm not going to speak for him, but if I was him, putting myself in his shoes, I'm assuming with the start I have, I'm reaching 2K. Not that it matters. Not that it actually is a thing that I think he's chasing. But I think it is a cool little milestone, right? You go into the game, maybe you are aware, maybe you're not. You're like, oh, I finished 2 points shy? Oh, that's tough. That's real tough. I don't know. This just a little side note there. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel you on that. He'll get it, though. So, nothing to be too concerned about.
No,
but yeah, Trey Townsend he looked better tonight as well. Two games in a row where Trey Townsend's been, he's kind of put together a decent little game here. Only 19 minutes for him, though, tonight, which is got to be one of the lower totals on the season, I would say.
Colorado.
It wasn't as if really Carter Bryant was taking that playing time either. Only 13 minutes for Carter Bryant. So between the 2 fours there, you're not getting a ton of minutes. Kind of something interesting.
I think it might be because Colorado is the biggest lineup in the Big 12, I think, or one of the biggest lineups in the Big 12.
Well, I noted it on our Friday show. I think they were like top 10 in the country in average height on their team.
Oh yeah. You did mention that as well. But yeah, I think that might be a result of it as well, because Awaka was doing so well. He plays 20 minutes. Lewis was playing really, really well tonight on defense. He plays 26 minutes. Vasar plays 20 minutes. And
13th in height.
Yeah, so that it's a big team, and so I think maybe Tommy Lloyd was going with the stronger players out there, the players that can handle more defensive size coming their way.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Arizona 74th in height, which doesn't really sound great on paper, but there are 367 teams, as we always have to point out, because that's quite a bit of teams that play Division I college basketball. Being 13th out of 367 is pretty crazy. We got Lost Highway in the chat. Welcome, brother. We've been waiting on you. Seems like Tommy benched him after that second turnover. Yeah, I think the leash has gotten a little bit shorter. for everybody really, because I think we're kind of Arizona's in a place now where there's options. There's other guys on the bench that can come in that have everyone. I feel like on this roster has shown flashes this season, Kevin. Like
Yeah.
you can point to almost every single person and go, oh, this was their game. It's been a kind of a culminative effort. I feel like it hasn't been the Caleb Love show. And even when Jaden Bradley's consistently the best player, that comes with like 11 points a basketball game. So, it's not like he's just taking over the game. He's just kind of the steady figure that's game in, game out, giving you consistency. So I really do feel like this team they can hit you from a bunch of different angles. And while you might want someone to kind of take the reins a little bit better, it is nice knowing that like if this guy doesn't have it, somebody else might on the bench.
And you brought up the shorter leash, so to speak, or just having less room for error out there as a player.
Yeah.
I think that not only is because there's more options, but Damon, we're getting down to it. Like we're past the halfway point of this basketball season, the regular season, and it's kind of getting to a point where you need to figure out who you got. Like you're in the toughest conference in America, Damon. This is not something that you can just kind of walk your way through the Pac-12, kind of, I think this guy will be a guy in the tournament. Oh, I don't know if this guy is going to be the guy. We'll figure it out in the conference tournament. You don't have until the conference tournament to figure out who you are in the Big 12, right? I mean, Arizona, like we keep talking about, banking wins in this conference is really important.
Yep.
But I think that Tommy Lloyd is also looking at this like we can't keep having certain errors out there. And if you're going to make certain errors out there, you're not going to be out there. And I think that is also part of that same equation there, because with every game, what do we got? 12 games left in the regular season. With every game, you get closer and closer to that tournament, and every game matters more and more.
Yep. There's no question about that. But I do think that Arizona, on the positive side of things, the Wildcats are 7-1 in conference, Kevin.
Oh yeah.
And we keep saying it, we keep hammering this point home. This is the toughest conference in America, top to bottom. Being 7-1 in this conference is nothing to scoff at whatsoever. And, even though it hasn't always looked the prettiest at times, at the end of the day, that record is what's the most important thing, right? Finding ways to win. Teams that find ways to win are the teams that go the deepest in the tournament. But, I think that this Arizona team is really setting themselves up well for, a potential regular season championship even for the Wildcats. I think after non-conference play, everyone would have said that's completely off the table. There's no chance that Arizona is going to be better than a Houston, an Iowa State, a Kansas in the Big 12 regular season, just because, we saw this team struggle a lot. Now you're sitting tied with Iowa State. If Houston loses a game, you're tied with them as well. And then you got Iowa State rolling into town on Monday, and it's going to be battle for sole possession of second place in the Big 12. So, could be an absolutely massive game, Kevin.
I'm excited.
And then also, I mean, you got Houston today versus Kansas.
Yeah, it's a big
Kansas.
game.
So if Kansas can take down Houston today and then Arizona beats Iowa State, I believe that should get Arizona good enough for a two-way tie potentially with Houston for first place in the Big 12. And I'll tell you what, Kevin, that's got me pretty juiced.
Oh, I am. You saw me doing the Birdman hands over here, Damon. I am excited for Monday night. I'm so excited, Damon. But I wanted to bring up one thing to you real quick before we continue talking about how hyped we are for the rest of this Big 12 season, Damon. 17-3, still in the cards. I just want to point that out to you. People called me crazy.
It's true.
People called me insane. People said I should be institutionalized. And I disagreed. I
think I said straitjacket. I think explicitly.
So. Yeah. Padded room.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, Corey Williams said the same thing, and I feel confident that Corey echoed what I had to say, because, look, Arizona looks really good in the Big 12. They look like they belong, and I think that what helped people calling me crazy back then when I made that prediction was that Arizona looked really mid in non-conference. Arizona looked really okay. Right?
Yeah.
And an okay team does not go 17-3 in the Big 12. But I'm not trying to do a victory lap too early. What I am trying to do is say that Arizona is making great headway towards setting themselves up for a successful tournament seeding, successful conference tournament seeding. And that's all you can do is control what you can control. And Arizona's doing that right now.
Yeah, there is no question about that, Kevin. And it really just is about those W's at the end of the day. I'm sure that this team we'll go into the post game of this, and Tommy will have a lot of things that need to be improved upon because, frankly, these 5-minute long scoring droughts really need to be.
What is going on
stopped.
with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's
so weird.
It's the kryptonite, man. It's really, it just keeps happening over and over again. And I really do think it has a lot to do with Caleb Love because I think that Arizona leans on Caleb Love in those moments when there feels like there's a lid on the basket.
Mm-hmm.
It's get one the ball, right? Get one the ball and let him go to work, and
used
then
to be get to the ball back in the day.
And two was different.
Two was different. Number
Kevin.
2, Caleb Love was
Ooh.
different. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, you sent me a video of you watching Caleb Love in high school the other day in person. And what number was he wearing, Kevin?
Two.
He
was flying around that court, boy. Let me tell you.
I don't understand why he switches it up, man.
I don't know. We should get the great Eric Day to ask him if why he switched his number.
It's because I guarantee you it's because of One Love. He thought that was cold, and it's like it is cool, but not when you like suck at basketball.
I think
not when you're 3 of 14.
Yeah. I think it's possible. See, I don't think it was One Love. That might have been a happy accident. I think he really probably wanted just like a vibe change. He cuts the hair. Remember, he cuts the hair because everyone's like, "Oh, he's gonna leave. He's gonna go," and then he comes back and he cuts the hair and he changes the number. So it kind of felt like let me reinvent myself for my final season. And boy, did he reinvent himself, Damon Dog. He is not the same Caleb Love. He is certainly a different version of the Caleb Love that wore number 2, Damon.
Yeah. There's no question about that, Kevin.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand it. He was 2 at UNC too. He's been 2 for his entire basketball career. And I think we're at the point now where we just don't know what's going on. Where we're grasping at
all the straws.
Yeah, just
all the straws. We're
it's got to be the number,
We're
right?
pulling so many straws out of so many different water sources. The turtles are so happy with me and Damon because we're reaching to all the little short straws.
New show clip or short idea. Kevin and Damon breakdown. Do you think Caleb Love's haircut or his number change have more to do with his struggles in 2024-25?
Did Caleb Love lose his aura in 2024-25? Just the dumbest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah. Yep. That's I mean,
but no,
that's just where we're at right now.
I was literally gonna say this is just illustrative of the point that we have reached as fans with Caleb Love is like, what is going on? Like, it doesn't seem to be an injury. It does like he's starting to smile again. So maybe it seems like he's happy. So like, what does my sim need to succeed? Like, I fed my sim. I've given my sim hobbies. I've given my sim a pet. I've given my sim a mansion. I've given my sim a 7-figure NIL deal, and my sim just won't get buckets. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it, Damon. Like, it reaches a point that we're at now to where it's just like, and that's why I said on yesterday's show, I had to say, like, I don't think we can any longer expect Caleb Love to just get it back because I don't think it is still there. Like, I don't know, Damon. Because
you don't just forget how to play basketball.
No, and I'm not saying
Kevin.
that though. But I'm saying I think maybe there's enough film on Caleb Love to where the consistent stretches of like 2 weeks of him just dropping 20 every game, that might be in the past now, Damon. Like, I don't know. And again, I'm with you. We've been saying it all year. He's the same player. You don't just forget how to play ball. But like, nothing is changing. Game in, game out. This was Colorado, Damon. Like we talked about it on Tuesday's show of like Caleb Love versus top 50 teams and Caleb Love versus the rest of the field. And this was supposed to be a game where Caleb Love goes off. Now, again, Caleb Love, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. He was not a ghost out there.
No,
but
I thought he was engaged.
He was very engaged, and that's the borderline you can ask of him. And some of his shots, to his credit, were just rimming in and out. Right. And so like maybe we're having a totally different conversation if 2 of his other threes fall instead of going in and out. Yeah. Right. But I think that this is still a bigger issue than just a couple missed threes, because what Caleb Love is brought here to do is score the basketball. And what Caleb Love has not been able to find a consistent way to do is score the basketball. So I think we're valid in our criticism despite his overall engagement in the game.
Yeah. And I actually told you after that first half, I said I didn't really I didn't hate a lot of the shots he was taking. I thought
No.
his approach was good. He took a 3 early in a shot clock, but I thought it was good at catch and shoot opportunity, and it looked good out of his hand, just a little bit too strong. He took it to the rim a couple times, and it just didn't go his way, didn't go in. Then he drew a foul and hit a couple free throws. Those were his first points of the game. I like to see that. You're not scoring. You're 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 or whatever he was at the time. And he was like, all right, I'll get to the rack, I'll get to the free throw line and see a couple go through the basket. I think that's what I'd like to see more of from Caleb Love. Him getting to the free throw line, I think could be very important for him remainder of the way. But those 2 threes, Kevin, were pretty huge.
They were huge.
They
were big.
Like, I feel like that bears noting. Arizona could have been down about 8 points, 6 points if him and Dell'Orso weren't going on kind of a run there to end that first half, keeping Arizona on top by 2 at halftime, 33-31. Those 2 threes, and was it back-to-back or in 3 possessions or whatever?
Yeah, I think it was back-to-back threes, and then he went for a layup that I thought he actually got fouled on.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a back-to-back threes and then an and one for Caleb Love, but it didn't go out that way. He missed the layup. They didn't call the foul that was actually committed against Caleb Love, unfortunately for Love himself. But, yeah, no, that was a great stretch for him. He just wasn't able to bottle it the rest of the game, it seemed. But that's also probably credit to Colorado, Damon. Like we said earlier, they're coming into this game with every team's goal is to shut down Caleb Love. And if ADO or Jaden Bradley beats us, so be it. But, I mean, you and I were talking about this during the game, so I want to bring this up. Bridge Tech Communications hops in the chat to say that Love for the season is 44 for 144 from 3. ADO is 36 for 73. Almost the same amount of
my man
makes, and on less than half the amount of attempts for 49%. And you and I were talking about this because I brought it up. I was saying, I feel like this is the second time I've walked away from a game feeling like Anthony Dell'Orso has supplanted the production that we were supposed to get from Caleb Love, and that Caleb Love has given us the production that we were supposed to get from Anthony Dell'Orso. And I don't feel bad about it because at least someone's given us 20 plus, right?
Yeah.
But it is kind of funny that for all this talk about how ADO can't play in the Big 12, ADO is doing better than Caleb Love right now in terms of just shooting the basketball. ADO is he's been a shock, and it's I'm not mad at it. Lost Highway asked, "What is Caleb's floater
like
percentage?
it, man.
10%."
Feels like
yeah,
it.
it does, and they're all short. I feel like short off the front.
They all I like the takes. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm coming from. Like he attempted a floater, and I was like, oh, that's a good take, and then it just wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Front rim. I think Anthony Dell'Orso, I mean, what he's given you is basically everything that you could have hoped and dreamed for when you brought him in, right? Like his role was being a sharpshooter, and he's doing exactly that. Maybe he needs to up his attempts per game a little bit.
I'd be okay with it.
Before this game, he was at 3.6 3-point attempts per game. I'd love to see that in the 5 range, Kevin. I know he took a few tonight. He took 9 tonight, but I'd like to see that average keep bumping up a little bit more, as long as he's going to continue to shoot mid 40% to high 40% from 3.
Yeah, and I think that I don't know what Tommy Lloyd's green light policy is, or how he allows players to know if they have the green light or not.
Yeah.
But if Anthony Dell'Orso doesn't have the green light, or if he does and he's not really properly utilizing it, I think Tommy Lloyd needs to tell him to shoot the rock just a lot more. Not in bad, not just huck up bad threes, right?
Yeah.
But I think giving ADO the confidence to know, hey, when that ball touches your hands, let it go. Like, let it be.
I'm with
it.
I'm
because he's making more than he's missing right now. If this changes, maybe have a different conversation then. But I think ADO is the kind of shooter that literally can play you in and out of a game, into a game more than he plays you out of a game, because he doesn't have the minutes to play you out of a game for the most part, like a Caleb Love does.
Well, if he's not hitting, then Tommy's not going to play him a whole lot, because he's not really bringing it from a defensive standpoint.
Agreed.
So if he misses a couple shots and Tommy's like, Deli doesn't have it tonight, I think Deli sees the bench. Whereas Caleb Love, what he's just expected to be on this team and what his role, is for this team. And he
can do more defensively, like you said.
Yeah, but I agreed. But I also think that, I think that Tommy's he's given the leeway to kind of work himself out of these funks a little bit more. And we haven't really seen the working out of a funk recently. As far as Caleb Love goes, we talked about it on our Wednesday episode. He's significantly better against non-top 50 KenPom teams. Colorado 98th in KenPom. And another bad game for Caleb Love. So that trend didn't really exactly continue tonight, Kevin.
No.
Wouldn't be the first time that he's had a bad game against a non-top 50 team, but not exactly close to his averages, what we have come to expect against some of the lower competition when Caleb Love suits up against them.
Yeah, and I think, I maybe, I don't know if I've said it was a bad game yet or not, but I feel like I've kind of given off that sentiment, so I'll just kind of say what I'm about to say anyway. I don't know if I should be saying that he had a bad game or whatnot, because he did have such an impactful game on the defensive end and the rebounding, and he was able to find the open man more than he wasn't able to find the open man. And I think when you're talking about a guy like Caleb Love, who's out there to volume score and shoot, if his shot isn't falling, those players have a tendency to kind of go ghost.
Yep.
And just kind of be, Caleb Love played tonight. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But that is not what he did.
No, because
he was involved.
I don't think he's that type of player, Kevin. I really do think that he's the type. He
agree.
wants to win. Like,
I agree.
That's like he's a different type of volume scorer than I think you'd maybe be accustomed to seeing in a guy like this in college basketball. I bet you Caleb Love's reputation nationally is that he would be the type of guy to start sulking, but I think Arizona fans, like, when you really watch him play, he doesn't do that. He's still locked in. It wasn't his night. Yeah,
I literally, I've been saying this, Damon, since the day that Caleb Love set foot on Arizona campus, because you said it, you referenced it earlier. I brought up the lost tapes on Twitter. I've been watching Caleb Love since high school, Damon.
The lost tapes.
The lost tapes. The lost era.
All dramatic.
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, that was EJ Liddell versus Caleb Love. Like, that was some lost tapes right there.
Yeah.
But no, back to what I was saying. I think when he came to Arizona, Damon, I was telling all my friends, oh, wow, like, we got a winning basketball player, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And people were saying, well, isn't he just like a shot hooker? Isn't he just like a scorer? He doesn't do much else. And I'm telling you, like, Caleb Love wants to win. He wants to be a part of the team. And I think that you're right on the money when you say his national discourse is incorrect. Because I've been saying that for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
That people got Caleb Love messed up. And now I criticize him on this show, but that's because he's not perfect from a playing perspective.
Rightfully so.
He does care about winning.
Yeah.
He does care about impacting basketball at a team level. And sometimes his shot doesn't fall, and sometimes he can't make the impact. But that does not mean he's not trying to make impact out there.
I'm with you there, Kevin. With you all the way. I do think that the narrative around him is fairly different than maybe what is actually the truth of the situation and the truth of the matter. Yeah, it is, but you know how that'll change. Starting to hit some shots and winning basketball games, and people will they'll come to notice. Carl puts here in the chat, this breakdown deserves more than 3 likes. Come on, people. Don't you want our man Kevin to sleep well tonight? Damn right. We're at 24 likes. But, I'd love to see that in the 50 range, Kevin.
I mean, I would love it. I mean, the Suns podcast has a thing where if they hit their like goal, they play this insane video that the producer Noah made. Maybe we need something like that, damn it. A little like goal celebration. That'd be fun.
Dangle like a little like donut in front of their head. So you run to chase it. Yeah, I'm all for that. Kevin has, the sleep's been rough recently because the like count hasn't been where we want it. It's tough. It's unfortunate. I've been telling him, melatonin, maybe some white noise machine.
Doesn't work.
None of it's helping. None of it's helping.
I'm waking my dog up in the morning. Usually it's my dog waking me up to go out, Dad, let's go for a walk. Now I'm telling my dog, like, hey, can we just go out? Can we just go outside? Like, it's 4 a.m. Can we just get the day started? But yeah, so please like this video.
Hit the like button.
Yes, hit the like button.
Kevin, we are going to give out a player of the game.
Woo-woo.
It's going to shock you guys right after this break.
Well, what is not shocking, Damon, is that Colt Cannabis has the best flower in the entire freaking valley. I love Colt Cannabis. Our friends at Colt Cannabis have been dropping all of the fire premium flower for you in the valley. Their magic markers. I'm so involved in Colt Cannabis, I literally just said our, and I'm not a Colt Cannabis employee, but magic markers, they really do make it feel like family. Like you're right. I totally stole your thunder there, but you're right. Colt Cannabis makes you feel like family in that way, Damon, and they're partnered with another great company in True Leaf, one of the best dispensaries in all of the valley. They just opened a new Maricopa location on January 11th. I love our downtown location here. It's really close to the office, super convenient for all of my Colt Cannabis needs. And yeah, right there on the way home, I stopped by, get some Colt Cannabis and unwind for the night. Whatever you want to do with Colt Cannabis is up to you. Just use it responsibly, and it's a great product, Damon. It's probably, I don't know. It might be the best weed brand I've ever smoked. It really might be. It really might be, Damon. I love our friends at Colt Cannabis, so make sure to go check out TrueLeaf.com to shop for some Colt Cannabis and tell them PHNX sent you, Damon.
Speaking of family, Kevin, you want a dealership that feels like family, you're going to want to head over to Sanderson Ford. PHNX Sports is proud to have Sanderson Ford as our official vehicle partner, Kevin. And it's not just any dealership. It is the biggest Ford dealership in the country. The most give back. I don't exactly know how to say that, but they love the state of Arizona. They love local charities, and they do all they can to give back to them. I feel like that's absolutely a company that you wanna spend your money with when you're making such a big purchase as a vehicle, and they care about the community and they care about you. Our friends over at Sanderson Ford are just great folks over there. We went and hung out with them. They're the best. Bo's best friend Ron, one of the sales guys over there, he knows all about PHNX Sports, and he's a superstar in the making. Go check out our little Sanderson Ford promo video we did with them. Dude just has it on screen. We love our friends over at Sanderson Ford. For the best deals in 2025, choose Sanderson for a no hassle, no pressure, no nonsense experience, and get more for your trade with easy on-the-spot financing. Drive into the new year in a new Ford from Arizona's most awarded Ford dealership, Sanderson Ford, Kevin.
Love to hear it. We love our friends over at Sanderson Ford. And you know what else I love to see, Damon, is Anthony Dell'Orso. Let's give it to him. Our player of the game. I mean, it was obvious.
Spoiler alert.
There were a couple good contenders. Tobi Awaka, KJ Lewis also making some great contributions. But ADO, Damon, he was the story of this game from an offensive perspective. When you can't tell this game's story without Anthony Dell'Orso. His threes were more than impactful. They were vital to Arizona winning this game and pulling away late. I know someone in the chat earlier said that it was actually 15.5, but if you bet it last night like a degenerate like I did, it was 14.5. And thank you, Anthony Dell'Orso, for that. But ADO, I've loved watching his development this year. I've loved watching his evolution from a confidence perspective in the Big 12, Damon. Yep. I'm not saying that he looked shy or not confident, but he's gaining confidence with seemingly every passing week, Damon. And it's been awesome to see. And boy, did he come through tonight.
Yeah, he absolutely did. Anthony Dell'Orso, I think, this 8-man rotation for Arizona, for me at least, is pretty strong top to bottom. I really feel comfortable with the 8 players that we got. It's probably one of the better 8-man rotations in all of college basketball, in my opinion. I do wonder where that puts Anthony Dell'Orso next year, because he's like shockingly a junior. I don't know why, but he feels like a senior.
He does really feel like a senior.
So he has an extra year of eligibility after this.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Arizona brings in, if say Carter Bryant stays,
okay,
Jaden Bradley stays, and Henry Vasar stays.
Okay.
And then you go into the next season and you bring in, Aristode, maybe a Koa Pete, maybe one of Burries or Arenas. Do you think Anthony Dell'Orso, is that enough minutes for him, or do you think that he looks for another opportunity where he can get maybe like 30 minutes a game starter playing minutes, because he could yes. for a pretty high level college basketball yes. team. I don't know, maybe not like a team that's gonna like go deep in the tournament, but I think that he could for a Power 4 team be a high level starter for a team like that.
Damon, I had a couple thoughts here. One of them is kind of more of a cop-out answer, but I think it's the truth. I think it literally depends on how Arizona finishes this year, right? If Arizona has, a disappointing end to the year where things just really never worked out, and maybe ADO feels like it wasn't the perfect fit for him, maybe he does go seek playtime elsewhere. But I really think ADO, being the kind of person to come from the school he did to come to an Arizona, you clearly care about winning. You clearly care about playing for a premier program.
Yep.
And you wouldn't do I guess I'm saying he wouldn't voluntarily sign up to play behind Jaden Bradley and Caleb Love and KJ Lewis to an extent.
Yep.
And then just leave a year later pretty much for the same reason. I just don't see that. I think that every team needs a shooter like Anthony Dell'Orso. There's not enough of them consistently these days. And I think that, Arizona's going to do what they can to keep him. And I think Anthony Dell'Orso has kind of proven with his decision-making already that he cares about playing at a team like Arizona. And there aren't too many teams like Arizona in the country, Damon. So I think Anthony Dell'Orso stays next year. I really do.
Actually, I like that. I like that take, Kevin, because, like you said, this is kind of the pinnacle of college basketball. he knew what he was getting into. He knew he probably wasn't starting when he like first came in, right? And he's earned that starting opportunity, but it wasn't necessarily his that wasn't the I don't think the intention when he was brought in. But every team needs spacers, and Anthony Dell'Orso is the spacer on this team. And I'd love for him to be back next year because I think the role for him next year is the exact same almost. And honestly, it's hard to find a better, I feel like, position to be in as a sharpshooter type, like archetype player in the country than in a Tommy Lloyd system that likes to, kind of run a pretty fast tempo, and doesn't have a lot of other 3-point shooters in his place. Like, so I think that there are a lot of shots on the table for him, and a lot of high quality shots in particular on the table for him.
Yes.
And I think that for that reason, plus, the highlighted reason of you saying, that it seems as though he probably cares about winning as is. Like, that's one of his biggest priorities. I do think that now that you mentioned that, I do think he probably sticks around, but wouldn't be shocked to see him leave. And I would completely understand it, but I would love for ADO to be back next year. That would be huge for just filling out that role for this team. Cause I think everybody needs that guy, right? Everybody needs a spacer like that. And, if you're going to shoot 46%, 49% from three,
come on back.
Yeah. Well, we love it.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I was saying, right? Like, every team needs a person who can just get hot from three, and it doesn't feel like a wish, right?
Yep.
It's something that you expect them to do. Every team needs spacing. Every team needs shooting nowadays, and Anthony Dell'Orso seems to be a dime a dozen, right? Like something that there are a lot of shooters, but there's not a lot of ADOs. Or delis. I apologize. I'm getting used to the new terminology that he earned today. Not a lot of delis floating around out there. Guys who are just willing to have their head down, shoot the ball, and play their part, right?
And just fire up that McHale crowd, huh?
Yeah, but I think a lot of people, and we want to talk about Deli making decisions to play second fiddle just to use a turn of phrase there, to Caleb Love and Jaden Bradley and and some other players in this team. Anthony Dell'Orso, he seems to be a player that doesn't come around often in college basketball, right? A shooter who doesn't want the most for themselves. They want to play on a team that really is about winning, right? I mean, not to compare apples to oranges here, but Kirk Kriisa, right? I jumps from one program that's beloved, Arizona, to another, Kentucky, just to try to get some of that juice, right? Get some of that extra feel for himself as a player, right? And I think ADO is cut from a different cloth of like, I know what I am as a player. Now, how can I contribute to winning in a way that actually is going to give me lifelong memories and accomplishments, right? And I think that he is cut from a different cloth in that way. And it's awesome to see that Arizona has a couple players on this team that is what college basketball is all about. Damon, ADO, Henry Vasar, even Caleb Love, to an extent, is what college basketball is all about, right? A guy who stays in college his entire time and uses all that time up and tries to win basketball games, Damon. I love to see it, and ADO's got me feeling sentimental over here. I love it.
Are you saying Caleb Love is like he's just a college basketball player? Like, that's just who he is?
That's not how I meant that to come off. I'm more so I'm saying that you don't see guys.
Caleb Love's in his 8th year here of college, and he's a legend for that.
No, I'm just saying I feel like Caleb Love would have been gone in other circumstances because of NIL and stuff, and that is kind of why you have NIL, right? To keep players around that ordinarily wouldn't be able to stay around. And I think that's kind of what I was trying to say is, right, you have a Henry Vasar who's sticking it out, developing, redshirting when you wouldn't expect another player to redshirt. ADO kind of being selfless and just providing his skills to try to impact winning. And then Caleb Love returning, yes, for the bag, but also returning because he loves to play Arizona basketball.
Yeah. That's a guy who could go anywhere in the country that he wanted to go. And he wanted to come back to Arizona above all else, right? Like, I think NBA probably pie in the sky. That was probably the best case scenario. But if that wasn't possible, I think Arizona was always the fallback option, never anywhere else. Big T puts in the chat, the Cats want to make a run in March. Love needs to figure out his game ASAP.
Facts.
Totally Big T. If you missed it and you weren't here yet, Kevin and I already broke all of that down. We talked a lot of Caleb Love in segment 1 and 2. we might be Caleb Loved out right now, but we'll.
I've consumed so much Caleb Love content over the last week. I might actually be Caleb Loved out until Monday.
Well,
I really might be.
man, I hope Caleb Love shows up on Monday because I'll tell you what, I won't be Caleb Loved out if he gives me 25 plus on Monday against Iowa State. We've never
insufferable.
We've never needed Caleb Love to have a big game more than that exact moment. That would be pretty huge, Kevin.
It would be massive. I think it would mean so much to me personally as a Caleb Love fan, just to because I've even had my doubts at this point as to whether or not Caleb Love is going to return to form in the ways that we know he's capable of doing, because he's done it before, Damon. And so I would love to see it. It would shut me up, and I would love nothing more than to be shut up about this one, Damon, because this is an important game. Iowa State, we're going to talk about it ad nauseum, but Iowa State, and could you be more excited for a basketball game on a Monday, Damon?
No, I couldn't. And it's kind of cool we get that Monday slot. I know we've been doing a lot of Tuesday games since Big 12 play started. And that Monday slot, a little bit more prime time, Kevin. Gonna be fun game. Ken Palm has here, they're projecting Arizona to lose to Iowa State 78-76.
Who looks at Ken Palm anyway, Damon? Not us.
Yeah, totally not us.
I've never used Ken Palm
for
a breakdown. Not a day in my life. That silly computer program.
They give Iowa State a 58% chance to win that basketball game. I believe that's maybe a little bit. I think that's a little bit too in favor of Iowa State, if I'm being honest, given that it's at McHale Center. I do think that while Iowa State might be a better team for what they've shown thus far in the season, I think that Arizona is just incredibly tough to beat at McHale Center. But if I do remember correctly in our breakdown, Kevin, when we predicted the schedule the rest of the way, I think I did have Iowa State as a loss in this game for Arizona's second loss in the Big 12. And not to toot my own horn, Kevin, but I've been perfect. I've picked every game correctly thus far.
You have done that,
in the
Damon,
Big 12.
and I can't deny it. I can't deny that. But I'm just gonna cling. That hang in there, cat. I'm just gonna hang in there on the idea that the 17-3 is still in play, no matter what.
It is,
and
it absolutely is.
That's what matters to me, because you can be right about all you want as long as I am right about the 17-3, because that will make us both happy. So that's what I care about, right?
What did I think? I had 14-6.
Yeah, it
is that
really
right?
was. Yeah.
And I think that'd be good enough for probably like third place in the Big 12. Probably would be my guess.
Would 14-6 like really disappoint you at this point, considering the start that they've had to conference
play?
Well, no,
because I predicted 14-6, and I was predicting a really hot start. I just think that the schedule just get kind of slogged up at certain points in this season. Like, you get Iowa State next, and then you play ASU, which I guess I could say anything could happen, but I'm not super concerned. At BYU is a tough place to play. At Kansas State's a tough place to play. Houston and Baylor back to back is a brutal stretch there. That's you get them Saturday, Monday in a 3-game stretch, or a 3-day stretch, I should say. So that's going to be tough to win. Then you go at Iowa State, ASU again, and then at Kansas to end the season. I do think that 5 more losses is totally on the table there. If I had to revise based off of what I've seen, I'd maybe go with 15-4. I think.
Okay.
I think that's where I would.
Wait.
Or
no.
Yeah, not 15-4.
It had to be 16-4.
16-4.
Yeah. Okay. 16-4 is 17-3. We're pretty much semantics at that point. But
or maybe 15-5.
15-5. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably where I'm at with it. We're gonna bring on Erica Day here in a second. Talk about what Tommy Lloyd had to say following Arizona's 15-point W against Colorado. Excited to hear what he has to say on guys like Anthony Dell'Orso and Tobi Awaka, as well as just why these scoring droughts just continue to happen for this team, Kevin.
Why?
So yeah, we'll be excited to get Eric on in a second here. In the meantime, drop a like on this video. Become a diehard if you haven't already. That would be fantastic. Kevin and I, we're in the Discord. We're chilling. We're talking about Arizona hoops, Arizona football, all times, everything that happens, live reaction in our Discord, as well as you get, discount on merch, discount on events. And speaking of events, Kevin, we got a takeover coming up here. And me and you, we've been trying to kind of rally the troops here.
Yes.
As Arizona, we have a takeover for Arizona versus ASU on February 1st at McHale North. And Kevin and I have been trying to, rally the troops, get more Arizona fans there than ASU fans. Because we all know U of A fans are significantly more passionate about their basketball program in particular. And it would just be a damn shame, Kevin, if there were more ASU fans there than U of A fans when that's just not the case.
No,
Well,
yeah.
I want our little section to be raining down U of A as the entire crowd stands on their feet and starts doing that in McHale North, as I said before. So yeah, help us out, do that. Come join our takeover. And look up what the tickets on our events say on our webpage at gophnx.com. I mentioned it. We got Erica ready to go after hearing what Tommy Lloyd had to say. So why don't we go ahead and bring Erica in here, Kevin?
Yeah, before we bring Erica in, I just kind of want to preview one thing that specifically she's going to talk about, Damon, are these scoring droughts. I am so interested to see what Tommy Lloyd specifically has to say about the scoring droughts, because I want to know if he's going to try to explain it away, because I think last time he talked about a similar topic, it was that's tough. And it didn't really have much actual substance to it. So I'm interested to see if he actually sees it as an issue now, as we bring in the great Erica L. Day here. Erica, how are we doing? How is Tommy? How are the vibes? How we doing?
Listen, Kevin, I'm not even on the show yet, and you're already trying to bring the vibes down on these scoring droughts, da 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 da.
Classic Kevin.
And listen, the way that I have this audio bite of Deli waiting, and you guys are gonna want this audio bite injected into your veins, and yet you're trying to rush me on a scoring drought audio bite? Are you serious? Like, Kevin.
Look, I care about what I care about, and what I care about most is Arizona winning a national championship, and Arizona's never going to win a national championship if in every game they have multiple droughts of 3+ minutes with no field goals made. I love that Anthony Dell'Orso, our beloved Deli, pooped. I love that Awaka looked awesome. I love that Caleb Love played great defense, but none of that means a damn if Arizona ain't going to score.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll just let you go ahead and take away, get the clip rolling of Tommy talking about these scoring droughts, because Damon bullied me into asking about it, and the response I got was meh.
I don't know specifically what you're talking about. I don't know how often we're doing that. I think there's times our offense looks really good. I think there's times it doesn't. And I don't know. I would have to go back and see. But I don't have any real data in front of me here to say what to either to agree with you or contradict you. But I think good offense is built on a lot of things. It's built on good defense. It's built on rebounding. That can get you in transition. To get you easy baskets. It's built on foul pressure. To get you in the bonus. These are all the ways you can hedge your bet on half court offense. You know what? Half court offense is really hard. It's really hard. It's no secret. If you look at efficiency in teams, true half court offenses, it's always lower than transition. It's always lower than offensive rebounds. So, I think the more times you can get yourself out of half court offense, and be efficient and in the open court is good. So, to me that's probably what I would say. Are we getting enough stops? Are we rebounding the ball well enough? Because those things usually kickstart your offense.
All right, thanks.
Enjoy the win.
Let's bring Erica back on here.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I just needed to make sure, it got cut off at the end there, but Tommy did say, have fun at the women's game later, which insinuates that all of you people will be at the women's game later today. So
Also insinuates that you and Tommy are just kind of chill like that.
I'll be honest. He did not seem very excited about my question. Can't say I blame him.
And that's what I wanted to say, Erica. I wanted to formally apologize to you. As you said, I bullied you into making you ask that question.
We bullied her
because I was interested in what his answer would be, because it feels like a very consistent theme. I feel like I watch every game. There's a 4-minute, 3-minute, 5-minute stretch where there is 0 points scored, or not points, I should say, field goals scored. Kevin, and maybe a couple free throws here and there, which there's something to be said. You want to get to the free throw line when maybe, your half court offense isn't exactly, lighting the world on fire. But I do feel like, Erica, he kind of gave you like a basketball 101 answer to like a question that was like, Well, half court offense is hard. And
You
it's
actually
easier to score
less.
on the fast break than it is in the half court. And it's like
Like,
we know, Tommy. Damn.
For him to be
like I've been
I don't
watching
have any
basketball my
data
whole
on
life,
this is
Tommy. Come
crazy.
on. Yeah. Do you want to know what I wrote next to my notes during this timestamp that I had to clip for you guys right now? Is king of analytics. I'm like, okay, dude, like, I guess we just need to get you some stat sheets about like scoring droughts. I don't know. Kevin, start working on that graphic. We'll get it up tomorrow. Tommy will see it, and hopefully he sees it in time
Yeah, you know
for this
what? Let's
Iowa
get some
State
stats
nonsense.
for Tommy. Like, let's compile some stats for Tommy Lloyd, figure out how to do this, and we'll get him the analytics that he clearly needs to see the things that he's experiencing every game.
I hate to throw you under the bus, Kev, but the other day you guys put together this awesome presentation about Caleb Love versus bottom of barrel teams. I would be interested for the same statistics on Tommy Lloyd. And I do hate to be that person, but I would be interested to see those same, comparisons for Coach. What do you think of that?
I mean, honestly, his record is probably. You mean like little like team statistics, like points per game, like?
I think
Yeah.
Tommy teams dominate inferior opponents. But there's something to be said about that. That's how you have a good record at the end of the day. Is you take care of business against teams that you need to take care of business against. And I think Tommy Lloyd teams absolutely take care of business against teams that they should. But I do get your larger point of like when they play tougher opponents, it does feel like things don't exactly go to plan often. Where that half court offense in particular is like somewhat of a struggle at times. But Erica, was there any other contentious moments? Did we put you in any other bad spots regarding the post-game presser?
Luckily, all the rest was pretty happy, hunky dory. Everyone else took the hard hitters, and Arizona didn't have too many turnovers or anything to like really call out anything crazy.
Yeah.
But Tommy did have some rather positive things to say about Mr. Deli that I think we should.
Kevin
was my bad, Erica. I may or may not have cut Erica off on that one. My bad, Erica. My bad. That was my bad. I was trying to get your Deli quote in here. I was trying to get your Deli.
It's 2 times, Erica,
moment.
That he's done that, just in case anyone's counting at home.
Well, that was actually in response for her throwing me under the bus 30 seconds ago, but it's all good. That was all good. But yeah, I was trying to get your beautiful Deli quote in here that you had. It's all good. I rushed you on the scoring drought. You rushed me on the Tommy quote. It's all good. We're even now, right here.
Kevin, I'll remember this next time you're in Tucson. I really will.
Wow.
Did I just get banned from Tucson? Is that just what happened?
You got threatened.
No, you didn't.
For sure.
Yeah, threatened. Exactly. Thank you, Damon.
That's a threat, Kevin. Yeah. So we also had you ask about Anthony Dell'Orso and just the massive role he played tonight, Erica. And so let's hear what Tommy had to say about Dell'Orso.
I mean, I've told Deli all along, you got to stay locked in and ready because there's going to be nights we might need you to be our leading scorer. And he did tonight. He was great. He was great. And, and they kind of attacked him on defense. So then you end up in, a little bit stuck in between. I mean, you keep him on for his offense, you sub him out for his defense. And sometimes you just got to let a guy, play through it a little bit. And I think we were able to do that, tonight. And he delivered. So, Deli gets all the credit for that one.
Can you talk about Jaden Bradley and his development?
Deli gets all the credit for that one. Damon, I said to you during that clip, I was joking about Anthony Dell'Orso supplanting Caleb Love's production. Like, I wasn't serious. And for Tommy Lloyd to get up here and say there's going to be nights where he's our leading scorer. Whoa!
Not my favorite thing.
Whoa! There should be nights where he's one of our leading shooters, one of our leading contributors. But I think expecting Anthony Dell'Orso to be one of our leading scorers, or one of their leading scorers every night. Wow, that was a statement. Like that was like a real important thing he said right there.
If Anthony Dell'Orso is the leading scorer on any given night, that means Jaden Bradley went 2 for 9. That means Caleb Love went 3 for 14. I really do.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Because he's not gonna hit. He's not gonna have many more 6 3-pointer games. Like that's pretty crazy volume. Even though he has been shooting at a very efficient rate, I don't expect that to continue. Honestly, I kind of hope that he's not the leading scorer ever again, but do love what I've seen out of Dell'Orso.
God, I just come on this show between 2 haters.
We just watched our team go band for band with Colorado.
I think Kevin and I just and Kevin said it earlier. It's about we want to see this team reach its ceiling and win big games late in March. And, I just think that where we're currently sitting, like, it is a process and it's not over. And this team is winning games, but it's just like this isn't where we want to be exactly as a squad.
Did you just see what could have happened to the Cyclones up in Tempe? What
I
could
did.
have happened to the Cyclones? To Bobby Hurley
Covered.
and the ASU Sun Devils? Disgusting. So all I'm saying is we should just be thankful for what we have. What did I say
I'm
in the
with
group
you.
chat during the dub? Beggars can't be choosers, and I mean that.
But why are we beggars? We're Arizona. We're not like.
We
Look,
lost to
here's my
Duke
thing.
at home.
Iowa State going on the road, right? Playing Arizona State 3-4 days, 3.5 days, 2.5 days, whatever, before they play Arizona, I think is a different experience. It's similar because you're at home, but you have to. I saw that you have to protect home court, and I think that this is a situation where. Again, do we think Arizona's on the same playing field as Arizona State? No. So I don't want to even see Arizona play around with teams like Colorado at home. I don't care about the history of the matchup, right? I don't care about any of that. Tad Boyle is a very good coach. He had an incredible game plan today that worked apparently to a key. But Arizona can't be struggling with these teams. Sorry, they can't.
Got to play better on Monday, like basketball and football guy says here in the chat.
Before you guys let me go, you guys have to play this clip of Deli because when you see this clip of Deli, you're going to want to insert it into your veins. So please, without further ado, please play this clip of Deli talking about what is to come to McHale on Monday.
I mean, yeah, we've seen a little bit. We kind of know their kind of base, what they're trying to get, and how we can kind of play to our strengths against them. But then again, they got to worry about us just as much as we got to worry about them, and they're playing us at home. So we have the advantage as far as I see it, and it's our job to defend home court.
Third time, Kevin.
Yeah, it was third time.
This guy hates Erica, man.
I don't hate Erica. I get her in here
I don't
every
care.
time right after I make my mistake. And then I say I make my mistake. I admit it.
I don't even care about the mistake. Did you hear what Anthony Dell'Orso just said?
Yeah,
They
I
got to worry about us.
Oh, yeah.
I about had to be excused out of the press conference when he said that. Like, yeah, you're so right. You do have to worry about us. Bring your rear ends here, Cyclones. See you Monday. Like, you guys have another clip. Feel free. It's about Mr. Tobi Awaka, our king of the court, if you ask me personally. But the women are about to start warming up, and I got to get off the court. So thanks for having me on.
Real quick, 5 seconds, Erica. Prediction for the women's game. Go. Give people hype.
Listen, okay, this is the ranked matchup I've been waiting for. They have a real opportunity. This can be the Adia Barnes signature win of the year. I watched the show last week where y'all said y'all were sleeping on the fact that they could be so back. Listen, this could be the win that does it for me. This could be it for me, okay? And I've been telling everybody all day, I've been waiting on this game. It's Isis Bay's old school. Literally inject this game into my veins. We have a chance. We have a chance. And do I always?
What time is tip?
6:30. Y'all better be in McHale. And if you're not in McHale, you better be tapped into my Twitter, Erica Lee Day. I know Damon was going to say it for me anyways, but seriously, be there or be square. I'm so serious. McHale better be packed. McHale was louder today than I've heard it all season. I know I literally say that every single show, but
Monday.
I expect it to be just as loud later today at 6:30 p.m. So bring your rear ends to McHale. Go get your little ramen, get back here, and we'll all reconvene here in about an hour and a half, okay?
Thank you, Erica.
Anyways.
Thank you, Erica. Like Erica said, she'll have you locked and loaded with all your women's basketball updates for this upcoming game against West Virginia at 6:30. That is at Erica Lee Day on Twitter. That's ErikaLeaDay. Follow Erica and always Erica. Thank you for your time and thank you for the little back and forth. We need that from time to time. We need people to put us in check.
Hey, by the way, I'll be at the takeover too, so I'll be representing our great city of Tucson.
You're damn right.
Since you guys are Phoenix guys.
Wow.
Just so everybody knows.
I'm a St. Louis guy.
I'm like, it's just, there's almost nothing more disrespectful to me personally.
St. Louis behind me.
I'm the most Tucson guy.
He is the most Tucson guy. He really
Compared
is.
to what? I literally live here.
I lived there my whole life.
I live here.
Look at the pain in Damon Dog's eyes, Erica.
It's
This is too far. This is too much.
It is. It's straight from my heart, because it's just like the Phoenix guy thing. It's just we've had a couple people throw those shots our way, and it's like that guy's a St. Louis guy. I'm a Tucson guy. We just live here. We work for a company.
If anything, there's no way that I'm a Phoenix guy because I had the chance to go anywhere in the country to go to school, and I chose Tucson.
Phoenix guys. Anyways, see you guys on Monday, Phoenix guys.
Bye, Erica.
It be your own people, David.
It really do be your own
people,
and
bro.
Kevin, I think like the worst part of it is it's just like, I didn't honestly, you were kicking Erica off the screen multiple times. I wasn't
Accidentally.
the one that was, doing that. And yet I'm taking shots over here.
I believe that it might have just been an issue of, technical error on my part, and I think she took it personally. And wanted to take
why
it
am
out
I
on
catching
us.
strays for that? Is
I
kind of
don't
where
know.
I'm at.
I think this is one of our first lessons, Damon, that you and I are a unit, sir.
Sure.
You and I are a team.
That's
People
true.
hate Pat Mahomes sometimes because they hate Travis Kelce. People hate Travis Kelce because they hate Pat Mahomes. It is what it is. I'm not saying that either one of us is either one. They're both GOATs. It doesn't matter, right? But I'm just saying that, if you catch, I was about to hop in my replies to defend you the other day because someone came at me criticizing your outfit. Like, I'm like, sir, he also has a Twitter account.
I'm not allowed to wear a D-backs hat on this show.
He's hatless now, actually. Yeah, we banned the hat.
We've been over this. That's just, hey guys, that's on me. How dare I support my local baseball team and the college I went to school at?
Should we talk a little bit about Tobi Awaka, though, Damon, before we get
let's
up
do
out of
it.
here? We do have one more clip.
Tobi Awaka had a huge rebounding night for the Wildcats tonight. 15 boards, Kevin. Been doing it a lot recently. And I'll tell you what, those
awesome
those boards were loud too. He was skying high for him, physical as hell. I thought Tobi Awaka, he's clearly one of the better rebounders in the entire country. And that's what he brings to the table, right? That is his MO, and that's what you need him to bring. So loved what we saw from Tobi tonight. Let's hear what Tommy Lloyd had to say on Tobi's performance.
I mean, Tobi's a beast. I mean, man, he was awesome on the glass. And you play a zone. One thing a zone is hard to do sometimes is block out. And obviously we know Tobi's a proficient rebounder. And I thought he really did a good job setting the tone early. I thought his second foul kind of stunted us a little bit, because I was going to I think I was kind of looking at maybe giving him kind of an extended run to start the game because I just felt his physicality was making a difference and I wanted to get off to a good start.
Tommy, if you get what you got today.
Damon, what stood out to me most about that clip, and I want to start here with the fact that I'm sorry, Tobi, because my biggest thing all year with him was, he doesn't have good enough hands. He's not, aggressive enough down low, this, that, the third. And he's another Arizona player that has proved me wrong this year is Tobi Awaka, Damon, because Tommy Lloyd's been talking in his post-game press conferences about how Tobi Awaka is slowly but surely learning the system that Tommy Lloyd's trying to implement out there. He's becoming more comfortable in that system, and he's succeeding because of it. And I think I kind of, and this is on me, it kind of went in one ear, out the other, right? I kind of heard that. I thought about it, and then it went out my other ear because I saw Tobi Awaka like drop an entry pass or something, right? But Tommy Lloyd was right, man. I should have listened to head coach because he knows what he's talking about out there. Because Tobi Awaka clearly, from the beginning of the season to now, is drastically more comfortable with whatever system Tommy Lloyd is trying to implement him to do. And I think that is what he was brought here to do. We're starting to see what Tobi Awaka was brought to Arizona to do. Toughness. He's a beast, Tommy Lloyd says. Rebounding. Just general physicality and tenaciousness.
Yeah.
Tommy Lloyd's not a guy who likes to play people with a lot of fouls. He said he thought about giving Tobi Awaka an extended run because his physicality was so important.
Yep.
And that's why you bring tough Tobi Awaka to Tucson.
Yeah. I want to say, number one, I apologize as well. I think me and you were both fairly critical of Tobi Awaka when we first started doing these post-game shows. Just because, it felt like he wasn't bringing a whole lot from an offensive standpoint at the time. I think he's kind of found his role on offense, and that's just grabbing boards and throwing them back out to the perimeter, right? And he had 8 defensive rebounds tonight, 7 offensive rebounds in his 15-point performance or 15 rebound performance with 7 or how many points did he score here?
Tobi Awaka had 8 points.
Yep, 8 points, 4 of 6 from the field. So efficient game for Tobi Awaka as well. I think that both of us kind of owe him an apology, and like it's very clear what his role is on this team. And if he's going to be a double-digit rebound guy night in, night out, he deserves the minutes that he's getting and the starts that he's getting. Absolutely. Number 2, I wanted to say, please never again with the sorry Tobi. I hated that. I don't know if I've ever hated anything more.
That was just an accident. I accidentally, confused the 2 words. I kind of just accidentally said sorry, and then I just had to commit to the bid at that point. I was in too deep.
Yeah,
I had to commit.
Yeah, just not my favorite thing in the entire world. Lost Highway says, are the Henry easy buckets, are they all dried up? Obviously, wasn't Henry's greatest game tonight. You look at the final stat sheet; he had 9 points on 3 of 5. Hit a 3-pointer, hit all of his free throws. Only 4 rebounds for him. But he played 20 minutes.
2 blocks.
Yeah, to Tobi's 20 minutes and got 11 less rebounds. Like I'd say that's pretty damning right there.
Yeah.
Of like who is the stronger rebounder at least, or even you could make the argument that that's a defensive thing too, right? We need to look into that a little bit more, but there are more rebounds to get when teams are missing shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not exactly all on Henry, but it's possible that some of that is he's getting scored on a little bit, or he's not affecting the shots the same way Tobi Awaka is. But yeah, I think in general, Henry has cooled down a little bit from what we saw. I called him the X factor on our last post or show on Friday.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to continue to say that because I do think his ceiling is extremely high, Henry Vasar, and I do think we're going to get more Henry Vasar games down the stretch that are better than what we saw tonight. Even though tonight didn't end up being all that bad, I just think that this team, as I mentioned earlier in the show, right, like this 8-man rotation, I feel pretty comfortable that they're all around the same level. Like I don't think that anyone is like clear cut the best player. Caleb Love was that guy going into the season, but he hasn't been. I really think that the 8 players on this team that play minutes are all fairly similar caliber players. And if Henry doesn't have it, no big deal, because we got a guy who's kind of in the same range as him, right?
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing to note when we're talking about Henry Vasar and him kind of being up and down in this way, Damon, is it draws me back to what Tommy Lloyd said after last game in the post game we were having, where he talked about Henry kind of regressing back to the mean, and not necessarily in a bad way. Just he's been playing so out of his mind.
Yeah.
And I think that fans maybe, and you and I certainly, me probably more so than you, fell into the trap of this is just who he is. This is awesome. We're going to get this every night. And that's just not how this works, right? You're going to have ebbs and flows. And I think you're going to have a player like Henry Vasar who shows great improvement and then kind of regresses down to that middle, right? He regresses down to that middle where he didn't necessarily have a bad game today. He just didn't necessarily have a great game today.
Yeah.
And I think that is what Tommy Lloyd's talking about when he's saying we're going to look at Henry and see what his mean is, see what his average is. And I think that we're kind of finding that out here over this little stretch.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Arizona takes down Colorado by 15, 78-63 behind a kind of a late barrage of points there. The Wildcats now gear up on Monday, Kevin, for a matchup against number 3 Iowa State. Iowa State is the number 4 KenPom team, so that number 3 ranking is not a fluke. They're a very, very good team. They kind of escaped in Tempe earlier today. Very close game, similar kind of to what we've talked about with that Texas Tech game, right? Like it was kind of a back and forth game all game long. ASU was winning for large stretches of it.
That
just
Bobby ball.
At the end of the game, man, they just couldn't make a shot, couldn't buy a basket, and Iowa State pulls out.
Yeah. Turnovers.
I think, but it goes to show, I think they're vulnerable. They're not an unbeatable team. ASU was winning for decent majority of this game. Kevin, any thoughts heading into Monday night against Iowa State?
That I wish we had a show tomorrow so that we could talk about this, Damon, because I want to talk for a whole hour about Iowa State.
Oh.
But I will say that I'm predicting an Arizona victory. I don't have a score prediction. I know that's kind of a cop out, but I will wholeheartedly say I'll be backing the Wildcats, not only with my prediction but financially as well. With Bet365, our good friends over there. But yeah, Damon. So I mean, that's just what it is. It's the biggest game that we've had on the schedule as fans for a while to look forward to, and I'm excited for it. It's a real measuring stick game for Arizona. If Arizona goes out there and beats Iowa State, no holds barred the rest of the year. Nothing is off the table for Arizona, in my opinion. If Arizona loses to Iowa State, it really depends on how it looks, but things definitely change, in my opinion. Depending upon if Iowa State walks into McKale and blows out Arizona, that's a problem. If Iowa State walks into McKale and beats Arizona, that's less of a problem, but we have more discussions on why that happens. So tune in with our postgame on Monday, folks.
Yeah, we're gonna have you locked and loaded on all of that coverage. But I'm with you. I think that it really depends on how a loss looks. If a loss is indeed what happens. But doesn't necessarily mean doomsday scenario, right? Because Iowa State is a fantastic team. But it is somewhat of a measuring stick because it's probably the best team that you've played all season long. And it kind of is just going to go to show, is this team ready to play at that level, at that high of a level? And I think we can learn a lot about Arizona in that game. So yeah, gonna want to tune in for that. If you are in Tucson or anywhere in Arizona and you are interested in going to that game, they are having a flash sale for the next 24 hours on ArizonaWildcats.com. $45 tickets, Kevin, to go watch a top 5 matchup in Tucson. It doesn't really get any better than that. They still got a couple hundred tickets remaining, so head on over there and buy yourself some tickets. Go support the Wildcats, man, because McHale Center, I know Erica talks about how it's as loud as it's ever been all season, every game, as she said, but I think that this is going to be the real, kind of measuring stick for McHale Center and kind of just the welcome to all the other Big 12 teams to McHale Center, right? Like this is a fortress. This is a place you don't win in. I think our fans need to show up and show out because they did earlier in the season against Duke. That's the other great team that they played this season. They did earlier against Duke, but they were kind of nullified very early on in that game. If Arizona keeps this competitive for a 40-minute game here, I expect that crowd to be absolutely crazy.
And you're right on the money, Damon, when you say that this is a moment for Arizona fans to put the flag in the Big 12 and say, we're here, and you had better know that McHale is one of the most raucous environments in the entire nation to play in, Damon.
Yep.
And I think our friend Carl in the chat has really...
It's a good point, Carl.
Scratched you right where you itch, Damon. How much will ESPN have to turn down our crowd on Monday? I mean, they might have to mute them.
Yeah, they're going to, I'll tell you what, Carl, that's definitely something to monitor because it's going to be loud in there. And I almost guarantee it's going to sound like it's just like a regular, it's going to be like a Mountain West basketball game environment on the television. But
it's gonna look like Phoenix College versus
But
Scottsdale
let's head
Community.
down to Nashville where Vanderbilt's taking on Kentucky. And these fans are wild. It's just different in the South. Literally, like that's I feel like that is 100.
Yeah.
We were watching that game earlier, Kevin. They're showing the student section, and they're
they're throwing tight shots at like 8 people.
Yeah,
because you want it to feel like it's full. Wow, let's go, Red!
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like I feel like this. I know it's a conspiracy theory, but I really, really do believe that there is something to that.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
And one more thing before we get out of here for the day, because me and Damon have spent a cool 90 minutes with y'all. We appreciate each and every one of you for being a part of this beautiful, whatever that was that Damon was doing. The Sare Tobi has to come back if that's going to keep going, Damon. I'm just going to have to say that right there. But anyway, what I was saying is, how is this game not sold out? I understand that it's a Monday.
It's crazy.
I understand that people have jobs, but Arizona basketball does not play Iowa State every day. All right,
No.
You go to work every day, right?
Take it off.
Make some choices.
PTO.
Make some choices, y'all. You know what I mean?
It's moments like this where it's like sometimes you work in sports media,
yeah,
and you're like, damn, imagine just having like a desk job.
Yeah, we're the most jobless job employed people ever.
And then I could go down and like watch my team play in person.
Yeah, but no, in all
you
honesty,
guys have fun.
I am still shocked this game is not sold out, even though it's on a Monday. I'm still shocked. Because I know there's enough college students down there to sell this thing out, Damon. I know there is. And so I just feel like you got to sell this one out. It has to be sold out by Monday. Come on, fans. What are we doing? It
will be. That's a Damon promise. It's a Christmas promise. Yep. That's all we got for you, Kevin. I'm hyped for this number 3 matchup against Iowa
yes,
State.
Indeed.
I don't even know what we're going to come into that post game if Arizona wins that basketball game because
I might not. I might still be doing laps around the building.
We might be ready to get some takes off, brother. Also, here's a real quick question before we get out of here. In chat, you can leave it in the comments. You think that Arizona is ranked going into this game against Iowa State? I believe they were somewhere in like the 31 range based off of last poll and others receiving votes.
I don't think so.
You got 2 fairly decent margin of victory W's on paper against Oklahoma State and Colorado, given their bad teams. But I do think that these people box score watch a little bit. I mentioned that against Texas Tech. It was a 5-point game. Majority of that game ends up being like 15, 14 points. And, that the thought is, oh, they got blown out. Let's knock them down a few pegs, even though Lubbock's one of the toughest places to play in the entire country. So I wonder if this is enough for Arizona to get into that top 25. If it is, it'll be like really on the back end of it.
Yeah, I'm unsure. If you had me bet money on it, I would bet that they're not in the top 25 because I don't think that the wins that they have in the meantime or holding that much weight.
It's just crazy to be 7-1 in the best conference in basketball and you're not ranked.
But they've done it to themselves, right? Like
they did. The non-conference was bad.
You got to win that UCLA game. You have to.
I mean, that's we said it a couple, like every time we've talked about the ranking, that UCLA game, you win that, you're ranked.
Yeah, and then
it's
you
really
even have that
simple.
cushion of the ranking people believing that you are the team that beat UCLA early in non-con, even if you just lost to Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And so, they did it to themselves. We have all these conversations about Arizona being ranked. We all think that they're a top 25 team, but the rankings people don't because of what Arizona's done to themselves.
Yep. I kind of agree with you there. I don't think they will be in the ranking, but if they beat Iowa State, no matter what happens on that weekend game, I believe that that will be enough for the Wildcats to get into the top 25. Yeah, no clue. So, yeah, it's going to be a big game on Monday. Make sure you guys are tuned in to all of our coverage on the AZ Wildcats podcast. I am at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. He is at Kevo Post. That's KEVOPOSTS. We are at PHNX_Wildcats on Twitter. Make sure you guys throw us a follow. Follow at PHNX_sports as well. That's our main account there. And if you guys like, if you're locked in on other Arizona teams as well, all the local teams, we got all your coverage, whether that be Cardinals, Suns, Diamondbacks. If any hockey news comes, we'll do some hockey stuff. So that's what we got going on over here at PHNX Sports. Make sure you guys go check out our events page to look at that takeover. We need as many Arizona fans as possible on February 1st. Going to be a good time. We're meeting up at Postino as well, Kevin, which I'm hyped about.
That place.
Love a little Postino.
Love that
Maybe
place.
we split a board, Kevin.
Oh, a board and bottle?
Maybe we split a board and bottle, brother. Who knows?
I'm down, brother.
Who knows?
I'm down.
Yeah, shout out the Mercury as well, David. That's a great point. David does great work covering the Mercury, as well as our friend Erica. She also covers the Mercury and does great work. So, yeah, PHNX Mercury as well. All right, guys, I think that's all we got for you today. Throw us a like on this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time on a Monday post-game show edition on the AZ Wildcats podcast. Bear down.
Go Cats.
We all silly like the mayor.